I'm Robert Peters, Chair of the Lexington Planning Board. I'm presenting Article 34 to amend the zoning bylaw and zoning map to create village and multifamily overlay districts. In 2020, the legislature amended the Zoning Act to promote production of multifamily housing in proximity to public transportation to help address the severe regional housing shortage. The law is found in Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 3A, and states an MBTA community shall have a zoning ordinance or bylaw that provides for at least one district of a reasonable size in which multifamily housing is permitted as of right. The word shall means the town must comply with the statute. There is no opting in or out. Lexington currently does not comply because we only permit multifamily housing on a very limited basis and not at the required density. The key components of the law are that at least one zoning district be of a reasonable size, be walking distance to public transportation, bikeways, or bus stops, must be suitable for families with children. The zoning must allow a minimum gross density of 15 units per acre, and the permitting process cannot be discretionary. For the purposes of the law, multifamily housing is defined as a building designed for 3+ dwellings. Also, the Department of Housing and Community Development has developed very specific guidelines for compliance by affected municipalities. Some examples of density and height of existing buildings in Lexington. This is the Manor House condominiums on Woburn Street, which are 51 units, which equals 25 units per acre, and those are 4 stories in height. The Lexington Place condominiums in Lexington Center has 3 floors of residential and some commercial space on the first floor above an underground parking garage. The Planning Board's proposal for the Center Business District is to develop zoning that will actually produce housing and requires a commercial use on the ground floor in the Center Business District. Since Lexington Place was constructed approximately 16 years ago, no one else has determined this to be something that is feasible to construct. While this project meets the minimum density requirements, zoning to this model will likely not produce any new development. Avalon off of Concord Avenue on the former Metropolitan State Hospital property is 386 units, which equals 17 units per acre. The buildings are 40 to 62 feet in height and are 3 stories. Other examples, the Muzzy School condominiums on Mass Ave, which are 71 units, which equals 18 units per acre. The building is 52 feet in height. 52 feet is the maximum height that the proposal would limit for the MFO district, which was Lexington Center and the Bedford Street North area. Some additional height examples are the Carey Memorial Hall at 58 feet, and the Brookhaven residential community off of Waltham Street, which is 60 feet and 4 stories. This is Waterstone at Lexington, which is newly constructed at 62.7 feet and 5 stories in height. And here are some examples of buildings in Lexington Center from the past, which were at heights of approximately 40 feet, 42 feet, and 46 feet. On October 25th, 2022, the Planning Board hosted a creative housing workshop. Approximately 80 residents were introduced to the MBTA community's law and the guidelines, and were asked to help identify general locations for where more housing would be appropriate, working in groups of approximately 8 people. At that time, we estimated that if we could identify at least 82 acres, we would meet the state compliance requirements. Lexington is required to have at least 50 acres and zoned to allow housing capacity of up to 1,231 units, half of which must be contiguous. The map on the screen is a combination of the 10 tables maps combined onto one. This map was used by the planning board as the foundation for this zoning proposal. The planning board's zoning proposal includes overlay districts encompassing 12 areas dispersed throughout Lexington. The blue shaded area on the map are the areas named Village Overlay Districts. The pink shaded areas are the multifamily overlay, and the green shaded areas are the Village High-Rise Overlay. Each have different requirements for heights and allowable uses. Basing its work on the maps created in the housing workshop session, the planning board carefully considered each area and selected to bring forth these districts based on the merits of each, considering factors like bus stops, bus routes, proximity to businesses, and to the bike path. In addition to the map, this article creates a new section 7.5 of the zoning bylaw, which details the major site plan review application process to be used for such applications. When applications are submitted, the board will review fully engineered and architectural plans and look at all the details such as heights, parking, lighting, design, etc. Abutters are notified of and invited to the public hearing. The majority, 85% of housing units in any project under the overlay will be at market rate, and 15% will be inclusionary and eligible for inclusion on the subsidized housing inventory, which helps to protect the town from unfriendly 40B projects while providing housing for households with lower incomes. The board focused on qualities such as pedestrian access, physical connections to the town, walkable areas, proximity to bus lines and bus stops, and the bike path. The planning board also felt it was important to have many small areas dispersed across town to help with incremental growth. The proposed overlays total 227 acres, which equals 2% of Lexington's total land area and consists of 279 properties with over 200 different property owners. There is no requirement to construct any new housing, only to zone to allow multifamily housing. Each property included in the overlay is unique and almost all contain buildings with existing active uses. A property owner would have to choose to pursue a new construction project. Many commercial properties are in use with tenants who hold long-term leases. Many factors such as parking, wetlands, easements, market conditions, ownership, interest rates play a role in any potential development, and a housing production forecast can really not be accurately estimated. With the number of owners, proposed locations, and size of the properties, we expect housing creation to be slow and incremental. Our best guess is between 400 and 800 units in the first 10 years after passage. The planning board has many reasons why this proposal is before you now in this form. Compliance with the new state law, execution of the recommendations and goals of the comprehensive plan, help to solve Lexington's and the region's housing crisis. Plan advances the select board's goals for more affordable and accessible housing with vibrant mix of businesses, and it regulates and guides new growth. And also we maintain the town's eligibility for certain state grant funds and awards. Additionally, this proposal is a concrete way that the town can take action in line with town meeting's adoption of its diversity, equity, and inclusion resolution. The planning board and planning staff have worked diligently over the last 2 years on this proposal and are acutely aware of the housing need in Lexington and the region. In building this proposal, we draw on the board and planning staff's collective 40-plus years of planning and zoning experience. The planning board, by a vote of 5-0, recommends that town meeting adopt Article 34. Thank you.